All right. Hello, everybody, and good morning. Good morning, good morning, good morning to you all. Hey. It is your girl, Ruthie, the truth, your financial wellness coach, and your number one strategist for goal driven planning. And I know you know what today is. It's the Wheel of Life Wednesday. Yeah. Yes, so it is the Wheel of Life Wednesday, and I am just so excited because we are less than 8 weeks away from the new year, and which means that it is getting closer to December 31st, y'all. And as far as the Ruthie's Road to 800 goal, it seems to be quite crunch time, if you ask me, to get the 800 dads and grads who I've had a positive financial impact in their lives this year, or the lives of their dads and or grads. All right. So I just want to say thank you so much to all of my new followers and welcome. I hope you get a lot out of my page, and whether it's on Instagram or YouTube, LinkedIn, wherever you're tuning in from. I really hope that whatever life transitions that you may be going through right now, there will be something that I have available for you to be able to resonate within my content. And if not, definitely feel free to send me an email or to send me a message to let me know, like, hey, this is what's going on in my life, and I just need a little guidance. And I'll be sure to make some content that will cater to specifically to whatever your current life transition is at the moment. All right. So, all right, let's see. All right, here we go. I have to make sure. I think something messed up the first time. I don't know what happened. Hopefully, it's not messing up this time. Yeah, I don't understand what's happening here. Unless I share my, all right, let me see. I was trying to share my screen, and I don't know what transpired for me to not be able to share my screen. All right, let's see. Let's try this one more again. Nope. I don't know if there's like some kind of update that I was not aware of prior to now. Okay, let's see. Okay, maybe that's what it was. Maybe there was some sort of update. All right. I guess let me know if you guys can see my screen. You can type a one in the chat if you can see my screen. All right. I think, okay, I hope I did this correct. All right. It looks like it's popping up. All right. All right. All right. Cool. Hey. All right. So, really quickly, while I wait for others to jump on, let me just open up the Wheel of Life workbook so you can see. So for many people who ask me why dads, with the dads and grads, just a quick background story. My father passed away back in 2012, which is 12 years ago. And the loss of a parent was never anything that I thought was going to have an impact on me. I really didn't know what to expect uh, as far as like living life after the loss of a parent. And I realized that after my father had passed away, it was having a really strong effect on my mental health. And because of this, I decided years later, this workbook is only just a year old. October made a year. But prior to that, during my time frame of going through that loss, plus being a new mom, plus being a new student in college, plus being a new wife, to the children of my father, I mean, the father of my children, um, there was a lot of life transitions, major life transitions that were happening all at the same time. And it made me realize that I was just not in a very good headspace at all. And because of this, I had to work very diligently to not only stay focused, but also to find different strategies and ways to cope with all of these very stressful life transitions. And so from these experiences, I have created the Wheel of Life workbook. And this is just the background story to let you all know this is the reason why dads, most people take dads for granted and they don't realize the impact that a father can have in the child's life, no matter what age they are. Just because they turn 18 and they have to be on their own, that does not mean that the father is irrelevant, nor does it mean that the mother is irrelevant. Both parents are very much needed through the adulting, especially the early adulting phases of the child's life. And so that is my purpose. This is my aim with working with specifically with dads and grads to maintain those connections that may be very difficult for the dads and grads to even spark. My dad and I in my adult years, it's kind of like, all right, I was on my own, but well, I guess with both parents really, but with my father, there was so many things that I didn't realize I relied on him to answer, like a lot of questions that I had. And so once he passed away, I realized like, oh my gosh, I can't ask my father questions. And you think it like the simple things in life you take for granted, but it's not until you don't have it is when you appreciate it the most. And so that is my goal. As I, aim to hit this 800 number by December 31st, is to spread the word and awareness of just how important to dads and to their grads, just how important they are in each other's lives. Because sometimes dads, they need a break or they need support. And so they don't always necessarily communicate what it is that they're trying to, what they need support with. Sometimes they don't know how to communicate it. And so that's where the Wheel of Life workbook comes in at. Just to answer this question that's been a hot topic question for this past week. So I wanted to make sure that I clarified, just in case there were any other dads and grads out there who had the question. Also feel free to read on the back of the workbook more of my story in detail, so that way you can have a better idea of who I am, what I do, and how best I can serve you in your financial wellness journey and also throughout your major life transitions. Okay. So I know that was kind of a mouthful, but it's all right. If you go on my YouTube page, if you're already subscribed, then you can just slow it down, speed it up, however your brain can process that big old mouthful that I just said. And also, don't forget to hit that like button. The like button is there just for you. And also, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that way you will be notified every time I go live. For 2025, I will be going live a lot more often, but it may not always be on Wednesdays because I'm shifting things just a little bit based on the needs and demands of the dads and grads that I am looking forward to working with for the start of the new year or going into the new year. All right. And so this going on to the workbook. So everybody who's on YouTube, I'm sure you can see where I'm at. on the digital workbook page thingy thing. So the grad side of things is basically for graduates. You know, my brother also passed away, but he passed away in 2019, just before the pandemic hit. And he as well was a figure. I didn't realize how much of a father figure he was in my life. And I'm sure many other individuals out there may not necessarily realize how significant that father figure is, especially when it's your big brother or a brother in general. It could be a younger brother, doesn't necessarily have to be older. But oh, excuse me, his place in my life has been sorely missed since he has passed away. And so also, you know, it made me think and really reflect on the relationship that he and my father probably had, and like what that was like. And so I know, again, with communication, the father son dynamic may not always be the greatest, most open communication. And also dads and daughters, girl dads, boy dads, doesn't matter. Sometimes the communication can be a challenge, and it could either be because of generational differences, or it can just be because different mindsets. So uh, during my Dads and Grads Academy sessions, I break down the different mindsets and different personalities. And, you know, we really take a deep dive into whether or not you have a neuro spicy brain, because that makes all the difference, of how you can communicate effectively to others and vice versa. And ironically, my brother received his, I believe it was a bachelor's degree in communications. So he literally studied communications. And so this is another reason why um, his picture is in the Dads and Grads version of the Wheel of Life workbook. All right. So, all right. So, to give you another breakdown, this workbook is designed to help you aim, right? So, the acronym AIM stands for A, assess, I, improve, and M, maintain. All right. So the objective of this workbook is to help you assess where you are subjectively. Where do you feel like you are right now in life? And when we go through the different categories, you'll be able to rate on a scale of 1 to 10 how you are feeling in each of these 8 major categories that are both directly impacted by your finances, of course, and also your mental health. Because sometimes when your mind is too clouded and you cannot get all of the communications out of your brain, it has an impact, and it could have a negative impact on your finances, and you don't even realize it, because you may not necessarily be aware of how the connection between mental health and money management are affect one another. All right, so we'll go deeper into that later on. But yes, so the A is to assess, which is to fill out the Wheel of Life workbook. The I is to improve. And the way that we will improve is toward the end of the session, we will set up an action plan. What is your plan based on the results that come from you filling out the Wheel of Life workbook? And then lastly, we will work on M, which is maintain. So to maintain whatever your plan is and whatever your assessment is, to have a positive financial impact in your life and also the lives of any other dads or grads that are a constant in your day-to-day, you know, I was gonna say transactions, but that's not really interactions. That's the word I was looking for. So yes. That is the objective of this workbook. And the objective is also to do this over the course of 8 weeks for best results, right? Some people, they see results, any form of results that has a major impact within the first 2 weeks, and then they tend to drop off. But I encourage you all to stick it out through to the full 8 weeks, so that way you can get the best results from the Wheel of Life workbook. All right. I promise y'all, I know it seems like Ruthie be working miracles. I get it. I know you have been trying to do this on your own for a long time, and to work with me and see results in 2 weeks, you just want to kind of do your own thing and think that it's going to stay consistent. And the reality of the situation is that it takes at least 30 days to create a habit. So yes, you will see, you're guaranteed to see results by the end of the second week, but that is only 15 days. That is half of the time that it takes for you to have that habit solidified in order for you to get to the improvement. So you'll get to the assessment. By 2 weeks, you'll see improvement. But then to maintain it, you gotta stick with me. Like, I know it's tempting, but that is the aim. The aim is to stick through to the full 8 weeks. All right. I promise y'all. Once you get the 8 weeks, that's 2 months, that's 60 days. So you'll be doubling up on the solidifying your reinforcing your new habits of communication, and also your new habits of money management during high stress life transitions. So I just wanted to throw that out there because I'm realizing that that is a pattern that is happening, and I wanted to make sure that I address it, because although it is wonderful to get paid to do this, ultimately my success is your success. And for you to be completely successful, it requires you to stick it through and to remain consistent past the 2 weeks that you are guaranteed to see these results. All right. You gotta stick with me, y'all. I need y'all to stick with me. All right. All right. So cool. So yeah, so to participate, you'll step one, register for the Wheel of Life Wednesday Zoom calls, which if you are seeing this, you probably already have registered. And if not, you can definitely visit my website to tap in to the registration page, or actually this workbook has the link. Once you have the link to the workbook, you click on the hyperlink and that'll take you to the registration page. That's even better. Then step two is to follow me on my social media platforms, which is at the @ Ruthie the Truth, across on Instagram, on LinkedIn. If you are seeing this on YouTube and you have a LinkedIn profile, connect with me on LinkedIn. Name is the same. You don't have to put the @ It's just Ruthie space THEE space Truth. All right. And yeah, I do this every Wednesday at 8:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. All right. That was a confusion as well. So I try to stay consistent with the Eastern Standard Time, even though sometimes I am making moves. I'm not always in the Eastern Standard Time zone, but which is why next year I'll probably have to limit these lives, because I will be in travel mode. So, but I will still be consistent with at least one live every month. I have to just readjust the stuff here, my schedule a bit. All right. And also, you can gain immediate access to join the community of dads and grads, and by, again, clicking the hyperlink in the digital workbook. And yeah, here we go. So if you are starting this for the first time this week, welcome to week 1 of the Ruthie the Truth experience, financial wellness coaching experience. All right. So this is the intro to the Wheel of Life workbook. So being that I have the digital copy on the YouTube page, you can head on over to my YouTube channel and see the page. I'm going to read the pages to you for the people on Instagram that can't see live, what the page looks like. All right. So here we go. Step 1 is to find a trusted friend, family member, or significant other to share in this weekly experience with you. All right. So if you cannot find someone that you trust genuinely, you are more than welcome to join the Ruthie Truths Dads and Grads community. And that way you can find someone within the community that you can align with, and you can always trust me. So I'm here for you, just for you. All right. And we can do this every week, every Wednesday. And step 2 would be, for those who have the physical copy, is next, each person will choose a color, which preferably I'll say your favorite color, because that's just what appeals to your eyes, And so choose a favorite color to represent your responses for each of the categories. Okay. Next, step 3, once you do that, we'll take turns asking each other, how are you feeling? On a scale of 1 to 10 about each of the specific categories. All right. We'll go through all 8 of the categories, 2 of which have subcategories. All right. And then step 4, once you have a number colored in, which is like a colored line thing for each category, you will use the follow-up questions to further elaborate on your wheel results for the specific week that we are on. So we're starting as if this is week 1 and you're filling this out for the very first time. All right. So we are going to click this button that says click here to fill in your Wheel of Life Wednesday results for this week. All right. And it should bring you to my Google Docs form. Okay. And let's see, hopefully this shows. Okay, perfect. All right, cool. So we're gonna you'll type in your email address. Yes, thank you, sis. All right, are you in YouTube? If so, oh, what did I just do? Oh Lord, I did something. I don't know how to take that off. What in the world? Okay. I'm sorry, y'all. I don't know what I just did on Instagram, but it's looking kind of crazy. Anyway, this is why y'all just need to go on my YouTube channel. Stop playing. Just subscribe to the YouTube channel, and I don't have to worry about all of these mishaps on Instagram right now. Yeah, I don't know what's happening. All right. Anyway, so you'll type in your email and your name and your birthday if you want to get a shout out. Oh, quick shout out. Happy birthday to my cousin Asia. Happy birthday to you. Yes. All right, hold on. Let me type this in, and I'm going to put, all right. Oh, it's not gonna give me the thing. All right, so I'm gonna put it as if it's my cousin's birthday, because it is her birthday. Right? I usually put today's date because this is my stuff. So all right. And yes, and I'm gonna say happy birthday to you. I wanna say happy birthday to you. All right, I forgot all the words, but that was good enough. Hopefully I can clip that out, post it, and send it to you, because I hope you have an amazing birthday. I know I might not be able to connect with you, but I will send you this clip here. So yes. All right. So before we get started, to share some deeper information about who we are, I will share that I am a mom graduate, right? So I'm a mom graduate or grad. With children. All right, and so you can kind of give whatever freestyle that you want to put in there. And so because I'm a mom and a graduate, I will be checking off the boxes in both of those columns. So for the mom, I'm a parent of a daughter and a son. So the mom of a daughter and a son, also a graduate. And I am a millennial. 80s babies, stand up. Where y'all at? And I have teenagers. Oh, what in the world? All right. I have teenagers. And I have graduated from high school as well as trade school. And yeah, that's pretty much it. Sums me up. All right. All right. And so the first category is going to be friends. All right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling about your friends category for this week? All right. And I would say, for, oh, I'm sorry. Let me give the definition. So a friend is a person that you know very well and share a mutual bond of non-sexual affection with. Okay. So keeping that definition in mind, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling about your friends category for this week? And I would say for this week, I'm at about a 6. And I would say that the reason why is because I did have time to connect with a few friends. And so that was good. I was able to communicate. All right. Next category. I gotta check that. All right. Noise in the chat right now. I think y'all sleeping tonight. All right. So next category is mental health. All right. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling about your mental health for this week? And mental health, to define it, is a person's state of mind and emotional well-being. Okay. And while you guys are typing in the chat, if y'all are there, I will say that for this week, my mental health, I would say, is at an 8. And, the reason why is because, oh, excuse me, I know I've had time to myself for a change. And, having that time for myself allowed me to reflect on much of what I normally don't get the opportunity. I normally don't take the opportunity to self-reflect the way that I like to. And also to read. I've kind of been falling behind on some of my reading habits, and not falling back, but neglecting my reading habits. And so the lack of consistency was not too great, but it improved this week. So I would say I would I would rate my mental health category for this week to be an 8 out of 10 because of that. All right. So keep it going. All right. All right. So the next category that we'll touch upon is physical health. All right. So physical health is so sorry. Physical health is defined as a person's state of being with regards to their organs and body system functions, sorry. All right. So with that definition in mind, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling about your physical health for this week, category for this week? All right. And while you guys are putting your responses in the chat, I will say I'll give my response for this week. And I will say physically, I feel pretty good. No body aches or pains, which is an amazing feeling. Yeah. Yeah, physically I feel like I mean I did have a little scratchiness in my throat, come to think about it, earlier this week. But it has since improved. You know, I've been drinking my hot tea, my hot peppermint tea with my lemon juice and, you know, put my little concoction together. So that helped tremendously. All right. All right. So the next category is okay, I don't have that there. Next category would be the family category. Family. So on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling about your family category for this week? And for those of you who would like the definition, family is a group of people who are there for you in times of need, joy, and sorrow. They help you to grow and figure out who you really are. All right. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling about your family? 1 representing the worst that you've ever felt in your life, and 10 representing the best that you've ever felt in your life. All right. I'm going to say that I would choose a 7. All right. For this week, because, you know, this week was very challenging week of family discussions. However, there were many clarifying moments that helped me better understand the decisions that my relatives make and have made in the past. All right. All right. So that is my response for this week. And I'm looking in the chat. I don't see nobody. Everybody don't want the bag. No, it's past everybody's curfew. I'm sorry, y'all. I didn't mean to keep y'all up so late. All right, but I guess when you see it, you can fill it in. It's fine. All right, so moving right along to the next category, which is fun. All right, fun. So, fun, I'll just read the definition first. Fun, aka, or also known as recreation, involves one or more activities of enjoyment, amusement, or lighthearted pleasure. All right. So, with that in mind, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling about your fun category for this week? All right. And I would say while you guys are typing in the chat, whenever you get ready to, no pressure. Hashtag no pressure. I would say, oh, I didn't really have much fun. Yeah, I think this week was more stressful than fun. I don't know. I mean, it's not necessarily the worst I've ever felt, but it's definitely less than neutral. So I would give it a 4. My fun category for this week, I'll give it a 4. Because I had far more stressful moments than enjoyable moments this week. Yeah. Yeah. That'll be my response for this week. And so I'm checking the chat. All right. Yep. No, y'all still, y'all just watching. All right, cool. It's cool to watch. Cool to watch. I don't know why this thing. Let me put this on the side here. All right. So, next category is education. Education. All right. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling about your education for this week? All right. And education is the process of receiving or giving systematic instructions, typically at a university typically at a school or university for an enlightening experience. All right. Okay, I guess I went all the way away. How did that work? Okay, I don't know what's going on here. Anyway, yes. So, for this week, I would say, I learned quite a bit, and I will say, speaking with, what's the word? Speaking with prospective clients has really allowed me to learn more about the value that comes from doing these weekly check-ins and being intentional about opening up communication, especially for the young adults out there. One thing I would say that I've learned this week specifically is I learned a lot about the generational norms that most people take for granted, and not knowing and not being aware or staying abreast of the generational norms, and also knowing why they are the norms makes a very big difference in the way that we give and receive information. So I would say education wise, um, yeah, I would say I mean I feel pretty good. I mean, they say ignorance is bliss. However, um, being knowledgeable of certain things definitely has helped. And this thing is annoying me. I don't know. Is it just me? Oh my goodness. All right. Um, yeah, so that was definitely um a very eye-opening experience. And yeah, it really allowed me to reflect better as um a coach, and also to really um clarify a lot of what the reasons behind why I do certain things that I do. So yeah, I'll give an example, right? So societal norms, and I want to try to give an example that's not going to be too obvious. Hopefully the prospect that I spoke with won't be upset. I'm not gonna like identify who this person is or their whatever too much about them, but one thing I will say is that um, uh, a societal norm that I guess differs between the Gen Z generation and the old school Gen X, millennial, even baby boomers, silent generation, like all of the older generations, is food prep, right? Meal prep. And I'll use this example because for many people who did not know, I started my business venture with meal prep, never realizing that it was going to turn into this. And the reason why I had pivoted from meal prep, my business, my initial business was called Not Your Average Meal Prep. And it was supposed to be for um, people who were transitioning out of the hospital with new dietary restrictions and or just physical limitations, especially for those who were like moms or caregivers that were physically unable to prepare meals for their dependents. And so I've always explained that, when I go to these different conferences and, talk to the exhibitors and potential collaborators, to let them know that has always been why I was driven to maintain entrepreneurial journey to begin with. Right. And so the problem that I came upon when I was doing all of the steps and for this meal prep business was that people were not, they didn't have their finances together. So yeah, they everybody eat, because I figured like, okay, what business can I do that won't fail? And I figured the food industry, nobody is going to go a day without eating unless they're fasting. And even when they fast, at some point you have to eat, you have to drink, you have to nourish your body. Um, so in doing the research and pitching, what my services were to the communities, the local community that I was in, I noticed that a lot of the local community members did not have their finances in order. And so they were not able to patronize my business in order for it to be lucrative. So I stopped and I pivoted to um, finances, right? Because I realized that part of why their finances were out of whack, well, from the very first time of me doing this, was because they had bad credit. And I'm like, oh, okay, that's an easy fix. I'll just help people fix their credit. And when they have credit, then they'll have access to funds, or at least like access to more opportunity. because that's what I realized was going on in my life. Like, like when I didn't have money, how did I maintain? Like that was the first thought in my mind. And so, which made me realize, like, okay, I had to self reflect on why did I not have money? Like, at what point in my life was I like super broke and could not afford food? And that was during the time that I split from my kid's father and prior to divorce, and right around the time that my dad passed away. And so that's how it my first business venture evolved into um, really the financial freedom mindset program. And because I didn't want to just exclusively cater to dads and grads at that point, but I realized that from the financial freedom mindset program, majority of the people who were interested in fixing their finances were fathers and or males who maybe were responsible for the finances. Again, social norm is that the men, they are supposed to protect, provide, and that is the financial societal norm from decades ago. Obviously, as time progressed and as new generations shifted, women became more of the breadwinners because of lifing, and so now that's a different norm, right? So now, most females have out earned their male counterparts. Um, which kind of changes the dynamic of what the social norms are for the next generation. So long story short, um, in this scenario, the most women, obviously, if a woman is going to work, like just like how when a man was going to work, he wouldn't necessarily come home and start cooking. He's not going to be making meals. He's going to be coming home to home cooked meals from the other counterpart that's not out working. And so now when the dynamic shifts and it's the woman out working, like working and coming home, if she has a male counterpart that may not necessarily be out working as well, then when she comes home, it is expected that she's not going to be cooking the meals, right? So cooking in the Generation Z, well, I guess from millennials going into Gen Z, has slowly evolved to women not cooking. And I didn't realize that was a thing because that did not strike me as something that should not have been a norm. What in the world? All right, I don't know what Zoom just did, but whatever it just did. And so yeah, so because it did not strike me as something that, this is a new norm. Gen Z just does not cook, clean, that's just not what women kind of do. They'll pretty much pay for someone to do it, or just have a man around that doesn't work and he'll be expected to cook, clean, like the housewoman. Like house husbands are now a thing, or maybe if they're not necessarily husbands, but just the male counterparts. So yeah, so there was a debate about, between a dad and a grad about the daughter cooking. And so the grad, let me just say grad, but I mean, I guess you guys would know it was a female. And so she explained to me why cooking was not really a thing that she did, right? Because the one thing that she explained that I did not expect to, um, it caught me off guard because I didn't realize that this was a norm. Although, as I'm going to conferences and I am hearing a lot of people's feedback about the workbook being a suicide prevention tool, it didn't strike me too far off. It just kind of connected the dots of like what's happening. And so, yeah, so the grad confided in me to say that they do not trust themselves around sharp objects, right, including knives. And obviously, you know, there are many reasons why that can be the case, but ultimately, there was an attempt to unalive themselves, and it was very difficult to, you know, communicate that. Like between the dad and the grad, like that line of communication wasn't necessarily open enough for the grad to communicate this to the dad. But the dad is old school, so he's not really going to really understand, like, okay, like this is a real thing. This is a new norm in these generations. And not to say that it wasn't happening in previous generations, um or in his generation, but it's becoming more prevalent of a thing now, because there's a lot more pressure that society puts on the next generation, because technology is advancing. There's so many different, like, inflation is a thing, not having financial conversations between parents and children, passing that knowledge down from one generation to the next. There's a lot of different uh, challenges that are happening in real time that ultimately can be resolved with communication. But because the communication is just not a thing because of all of the pressure that takes place, this is what I realized made this Wheel of Life Wednesday check-in such a valuable um session. Like, this is the one time that they can it creates a new generational norm, where every week, like every whatever day, whether it's Wednesday or not, they can choose one day out of the week where they intentionally communicate and check in on all of these categories. And so, again, I know that was quite a mouthful, but it as a financial wellness coach, and also as a mother of the Gen Zers, it made me realize and not take for granted whether or not, like, not to necessarily pressure my daughter to want to cook. And ironically, my son, that is his goal. His goal is to cook. So it really made me more appreciative of the fact to know that, although it's my son has the goal to want to cook on his own, just the fact that if he ever had um, a potential wife that did not cook, and this may be one of the reasons why, that he would be able to support her, simply because I have established this habit for the dads and grads to have communication. And I've learned this from facilitating these weekly sessions. So, and hopefully, if you are a dad with a grad, that you expect to follow your generational norms. I hope that this story helps you, and this scenario helps you to um, really be intentional with checking in with your children, and being a bit more open minded than your generation's norm, to find out, to learn what is actually going on in their world and why. Not just to say, like, oh, you don't do this, you don't do that, you're lazy, you're blah, 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 blah. Like, that is not the best form of communication. And you might want to be a bit more sensitive to your approach when you're communicating. Just food for thought. All right. So I know that was a very long way. I don't know how to, I'll have to simplify that to type in why I chose this number for this week. But I would say that it made me feel very good to know, and I guess it validated more value that I didn't realize that my Wheel of Life workbook brings to households. of dads and grads. Like it's a real thing. And I appreciate you all for being so transparent about these very difficult, very sensitive topics. And um and I I, I pray all the time. Like y'all see my serenity prayer in the back. This is my daily prayer. And I encourage you, if you feel like you need prayer, feel free to let me know. Um, or you can always pray the serenity prayer. This is what helped me during my most challenging times. Right after I lost my dad, and I was just going through a really bad downward spiral in life. Um, in my early 20s. So if you are in your early 20s and you're watching this and you feel like you're having a very difficult time in life right now, transitioning into adulthood, um, I encourage you to tap into the serenity prayer. And so you can save it as a screensaver on your phone, or you can print it out. I got this on Amazon some time ago. And yeah, just recite that every morning that you wake up, or whenever you're having a difficult time. If you're having a hard time, going to sleep, just take the time out to um, intentionally pray, because ultimately, whatever struggles you're going through, prayer definitely works. Prayer is what has me here, because I almost unalived myself on a few different occasions. And I explain this to people, like, you had I been successful, I wouldn't be here right now. And that's a real thing. And I want you to know that you are not alone, and that you can educate yourself either through my Dads and Grads Academy program, or even if you just watch YouTube videos. It's up to you what your level of comfort is. But just taking action to self-educate on ways that you can cope with the life transitions of going into adulthood, and just dealing with adulthood and dealing with societal norms that don't make sense to you. And obviously, I'm a millennial. So, as an 80s baby, I can tell you anything that you need to know about the millennial societal norms, and even a little bit of the older norms, the Gen X kind of norms as well, and kind of make it make sense for you, so that way you don't feel so lost, or isolated, or like just not belonging. Like, I don't ever want you to feel like you don't belong here, because you do. Obviously, you made it. If you learned the scientific methods that go into the conception of babies and children, and like, you know, what the journey is for one specimen to get to the other specimen in order to create you, you would realize that you was a fighter before you was even you. Like, it was an uphill battle. You know what I'm saying? Like, I'm not gonna go too deep into it, because I'm not here to talk about the birds, the bees, and butterflies and all that stuff. But I'm just letting you know, you are here for a reason. And if you need Ruthie D Truth to help you figure out what that reason is, I'm here. I'm here for you. Just follow me on my YouTube, subscribe to the YouTube, or you can follow me on Instagram, or you can just email me, even if whatever. I mean, the subscribe button is there for you. The like button is there for you. But if you feel like you just need a little bit deeper, in the description box of my YouTube, my email is right there, clients@ruthieddtruth.com, or you DM me on Instagram at ruthieddtruth.com. And just let me know, like, hey, Ruthie, been having a really hard time this week. And or you can just put it in the Wheel of Life Wednesday check-in if you have the link to the digital workbook, and just type it in. Type that information in, and I will receive it. And yeah, and we can work together to help you identify what your purpose is in life, what your assignment is, what your life assignment is, and yeah, and how you can best thrive, because you are so skilled, you are so talented, and you are so appreciated. You may not feel that way around certain people, because a lot of times it takes for you to be in other environments that you don't realize you're needed in. Your talents are needed in other environments other than your domesticated environments. So that's the number one pattern that I always see, is that sometimes we get a little too domesticated and we don't take time to kind of jump off the porch, so to speak, and really venture out into environments that need us. So I'm learning the tech environment. That's been my tribe. Like, you can find your tribe. I can help you. Just let me know. All right, let me know. I think I sang that off key, but anyway, y'all get it. It's Aaliyah, the millennial thing. Let me know. All right. So what was I about to say? All right, yeah, I think I said, yeah, I said what I had to say. I see everybody still popping in, popping out. So yeah, tonight is probably just one of those nights that it's just me and you. All right. All right, so I would say, yeah, I put a whole mouthful. Just learned a lot about my super purpose on this. Ruthie's road to 800 mission. All right. All right. So the next category is personal growth. All right. So personal growth, by my definition that I have here, is the process of an individual becoming aware of themselves in in their entirety. All right. Followed by taking steps to address the behavior, attitudes, values, actions, and habits that they wish to change. All right. So this week, oh my goodness. So partly what I just mentioned for the last category, it applies to this. This is a portion of why I'm going to rate my number for this one. And I normally don't give a 10, but this week, personal growth has been at an all-time high. Like, despite the fact that there were so many challenging moments and so many emotional moments for me this week, I realized, like, the reflection part has made me realize just how far I have come in this life. Like, forget just in this week, like my entire lifetime. Just looking and reflecting back on all of my behaviors, past and present, past compared to present, as well as my attitudes, of the way that I handle negative situations or just uncomfortable situations. Also, solidifying what my values are for me as I grow into this next best version of myself, and what actions are required for me to achieve that, which obviously includes setting boundaries and understanding what boundaries should be in place, and maybe I put up like some random boundaries that don't really make sense for my life. So reevaluating what my boundaries are and why they are that way. Which basically I'll give like a random example. So one boundary that I realized that I had to, create in order for me to have better habits for myself is that I have to say no to a request that I have not done for myself. So I'll give an example. If I have not put gas in my car this week, then I cannot loan anybody gas money. I have to say no because I did not do it for me first. Right. So if my gas tank is not on full, then that means I ain't got it. Another example could be eating, right? Something as simple, right? If somebody needs food, right, and I didn't feed myself before they ask me, can they have a plate of food? The answer has to be no, because I did not eat yet. Like my stomach is not full yet. And so because my stomach is not full, unfortunately, I can't just give it to the next person. So this is something that I used to do all the time. And this week especially has allowed me to reflect. I've been doing a lot of praying, because the further you get with growth, the more tests and trials and tribulations seem to just, they just start you start attracting that. And for a while I was trying to figure out, like, what is this, what is happening, and why, like, why now of all times. But I realized that that's what it is. Like, a part of the growth process is to be tested in this growth to confirm whether or not you have actually grown into what you said that you've grown into. Like, this that's been a thing this week. But I feel the best that I've ever felt in my life this week, because I have been solidifying a lot of difficult boundaries that I've had a very difficult time implementing or even acknowledging needed to be in place, for years. And um, I had a coach, like 2 years ago, that told me this, and I was like, man, it's hard. It was hard for me to do that, but um, the more I realized that I value myself and what my values are, the more I'm learning about what my values truly are, the easier it's becoming for me to say no. So that's what I believe the challenge was. The difference between then and now is that I'm learning more about my values, what I bring to the table, what my gifts are, and how that is not just, people are not entitled to just get whatever it is that I have that I can give to me first before I give it to me first. So um yeah, I'm finally at that point in life where I'm taking the time out to intentionally take care of me. And yeah, if once I benefit from taking care of me and there is an overflow or an influx after, and even if I do have like an abundance, that still doesn't necessarily like automatically put that person into that place, because it's like sometimes people will treat you less than to make you not realize how valuable you are in the world, in life. And that is a form of manipulation. And so taking the time to intentionally set boundaries to avoid manipulation has been the name of my game this week. And a lot, not just this week, but this year, as more and more things have become revealing to me. And I know usually manipulators will say, "Oh, what you think you better than somebody?" I'm better than me. And so, yeah, I'm always going to be better than me because that is what I work so hard to do. Jay-Z said it best, but you know, yeah, nobody works this hard to stay the same. And so most people don't even work hard to begin with. They just go day by day and they leech on people who, like me, work very hard to get to levels that they have never been at or they never aspire to be at, because they don't take the time to put the work in, or they don't take the time to even educate themselves on how to put the work in. And they'll be fixated on being a victim for the rest of their lives, or they'll fixate on just manipulating people, and that's just how they work their way up to the top. We've seen this time and time again with numerous different type of people, and especially in the like Hollywood world, celebrities, like it happens all the time. And yeah, like you have to learn how to take your power for you, empower yourself. So that's what this personal growth thing is learning how to empower you first and foremost. And if you are having a difficult time empowering yourself, then that's when you would want to take time out to invest in someone who can help to empower you when you feel powerless. Okay. So I hope that helps somebody out there. If it did, hit the like button. If you're on YouTube right now, there you go. Boop, that part. Or double tap this live on IG, or just subscribe. Just hit that subscribe button for YouTube, and yeah, that way I know that this resonated with you. All right. So yeah, personal growth, I would say boundary setting has been at an all-time high this week. Yeah, taking time to intentionally reflect on my values and purpose in life. Okay, cool. All right, we just got a few more categories and then we'll be off this. All right, so the next category is self-love. All right, for those of you out there that do not know the definition of self-love, let me just read this refresher. Excuse me. So, self-love is the act of treating yourself with kindness and respect, nurturing your growth and your basically overall well-being. Okay. So, obviously, from personal growth, I would have to give myself a 10 out of 10 for this week because this has truly been the best I've ever felt ever in my life. Like I've never felt so sure about myself as much as I do now. Well, as much as this past week has revealed to me. So yeah. I'm gonna say this past week has been the most revealing yet empowering, self-empowering girl. Time of my life. Okay. Done. Let me see, checking the chats. All right. There you go. I set everything up this time around. And okay, that's fine. All right, cool. Next category is romance. So the second subcategory of love life. Excuse me. So I'll read the description, definition, sorry. So romantic love life is the active courtship behaviors of one person to express their overall feelings of attraction toward another. And I will say I had a very interesting conversation this week. I guess in this topic-ish, but I guess a little quick story time. I'll try to make this one brief. So yeah, quick story of a conversation I was having with an anonymous individual that basically was expressing to me how beautiful I was and whether or not, and we were talking about opinions, how I have learned about myself, the revealing part in personal growth, that I don't value opinions. Like that is not a part of my list of Ruthie the Truth values. I value factual based information. And so because of this, it has become a lot less fun, I guess, for manipulative people to distract me from what I know is the path that I should be on. And so, yeah, it basically eliminates distractions by not valuing opinions. At first, when I said it, it was the truth. And so sometimes the truth sounds harsh. It comes off kind of crazy. But truth shall set you free. And I said it respectfully, like, yeah, that's just not it's not on my list of values. I value factual based information because that's just the way my neurospicy brain is set up. Like opinions, I guess that's like a societal norm from my lens of my neurodivergent lens. But yeah, the more I learn and grow within myself, the more I realize that, yeah, they can say the gentleman basically was saying like, oh, so do you think you're pretty? And I'm like, I mean, people tell me this all the time, but it's their opinion. And, most people just who express their opinions, in my opinion, feel like they just want to be right all the time. And so, if they state facts, they're probably not going to be right as much times as they would if they were stating opinions. So it was a debate, a very short term debate, because I'm like, beauty is in the eye of the beholder. And so what could be attractive to one person or one type of group of individuals can be completely unattractive to another group of individuals. So that's the end of that conversation. And yeah, I get it. I guess this gentleman was trying to be romantic and tell me how beautiful I was and whisper sweet nothings in my ear. But yeah, it was pretty much open and close. Or I'll talk to you later type of situation. So I would say romance, yeah, I say neutral 5. This is because I don't know. Not enough guys out here can express their true value true values that they identify in from me, I guess. Yeah. So yeah, my values list is disaligned. Come on. That's probably wrong. Oh, misaligned. Periods. All right, cool. Done. All right. Next category is career. All right. And the definition of a career is an occupation undertaken for a significant period of a person's lifetime in which opportunities for progression exist. All right. So, on a scale of 1 to 10, how are you feeling about your career? And I would say, to keep it short and sweet, because I know we coming up on time, that yeah, I would rate the career category a 10 out of 10 for this week. And if you just go back to the personal growth comment, then you'll know exactly why. So yeah. All right. And the last and final segment of this session is moving forward. All right. So moving forward, describe your number one financial goal for 2024. All right. And my financial goal is to have a positive financial impact in the lives of at least 800 dads and grads in leadership position. All right. Next. Oh, excuse me. All right, next is which of the following categories do you feel is holding you back the most financially? I would say for personal growth, now that that has improved, I believe that was the category I was focusing on last week. It's difficult for me to say which one is holding me back because I feel like I am being educated. Usually it'll be between education, personal growth, and like mental health. You know what? I think I may say out of all of them, family. Yeah. Um, yeah. And I guess because, sometimes I get very distracted with trying to understand my family dynamic, especially the older I get and what the expectations are. As we all age within our respective generations. And so, yeah, just the distraction of not having clear communication with the expectations as we all grow older. I would say that has been the closest category that has caused some distraction. So with my action plan, next is What action plan are you going to execute this week to work towards the category you selected? So I would say my action plan is to have better communication during this upcoming holiday week with hopes of getting some progress and clarifying this the expectations of each other, of one another. Cool. All right. And then last but not least, are you interested in joining the Ruthie's Road to 800 mission for 2024? All right. Of course, you know me. I always say yes because I'm Ruthie the Truth. Why would I say no? All right. And then before you hit the submit button, you want to swipe this over to send yourself a copy of your responses. And then you hit submit. Yes. All right. And that, my friends, concludes the Ruthie the Truth's Wheel of Life Wednesday check-in session. Yes. You made it. If you made it to this far in the session, definitely make sure you hit that like button because that means obviously you liked it because you were here long enough to witness it all the way to the end. All right. So yeah, let me see. How do I get back to this? All right, cool. I think I did it right. Can you guys still see me? Hopefully you can. All right, y'all. So that concludes this week's Wheel of Life Wednesday session. I hope that you all have an amazing rest of your week and that if you are a dad or grad, that you take the time out to intentionally connect with your family, friends, trusted individual to fill out this Wheel of Life Wednesday check-in, workbook check-in with those individuals in your life so that way you can improve your communication skills. And not only that, but improve your financial wellness journey. You know, this will ultimately have a positive financial impact in your life because you will be able to not only have clear expectations, but also you'll be able to formulate a clear plan and to execute, to have in place for whatever major life transitions you may be struggling with navigating currently. So hopefully this helps, and I'll be sure to add a few more case scenarios and share some stories with you all throughout the week. Until next time, and once and final time, don't forget to hit that subscribe button so that way you do not miss out on the next notification of when I, Ruthie the Truth, go live for next week's Wheel of Life Wednesday session. All right. So I look forward to seeing you all next time.